Alrighty, guys. So I have Carlos today. Carlos, welcome. We've
Okay.
got exciting little interview in store for you guys. Not only will we go ahead and share Carlos wins, but also teach you guys a thing or two about marketing at a high level, applying skill sets of different vehicles, and just really like how top level marketers think. So I don't know. I think most business people, the top business people that I know, a lot of them are the top marketers. I mean, Elon Musk is one example. So that's why I say the word marketer. But Carlos, let's start off with you, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about what you're currently working on, and yeah, let's go from there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Prav. Yeah, so I started working with you actually in, I think that it was like 2020, and like at the end of 2020, we started working. I started working generating leads, doing more of the product aspect of things, and it was great. And I learned a bunch of things, and yeah, afterwards I just started doing doing LinkedIn client acquisition for different companies. Right now we have a client that's paying us $20,000 a month, and we're getting some other clients from financial advisors. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing right now, and we're looking to scale to past 200K months. Been able to like work with really great people. I think that like top level talent. Thanks to EAS and thanks to you. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I was wondering, like, how old are you again? Just for the people watching.
I'm 21 right now. I'm a little bit old. This year I'm turning 22. So, you were making like way more when you were 21. So, yeah.
Nah, you're gonna make a lot more. I think we'll talk about today as well. With some of the things that you got going on, I think you'll be making a crazy amount. Yeah, man. So yeah, I think just to clarify for anyone watching, like Carlos, you work with us as a team member. I generated leads. You were sort of working with the product. You were helping clients out. And then I think after that, you actually became a client with us at the EAS launch, and you started up and you came in and you started working with financial advisors with LinkedIn lead gen, client acquisition. That was working really well for you guys. I think from what I understand, there's a lot of clients you guys sold on, but what you guys later realized is that the framework that you were using for LinkedIn client acquisition, it was applicable for every single niche. And the thing is that one thing I always say is, like, if you want to chase the highest or the most valuable vehicle for you, given your skill sets, right? So that's for me, that's why we'll talk about potentially later on in the interview. But for you, it was definitely Carlos, choosing different niches. So, talk us to us a little bit about what the niche that you were in right now. From my understanding, it's solving a really big problem, like number one or number two problem in the United States when it comes to I'm not sure what the industry is, but it's a really big problem you're solving, correct?
Yeah, it's a very specific industry. It's kind of hard to like even mention it or introduce it. But my thought process was like when I worked with you, I learned a bunch of stuff about like managing the sales team, like client acquisition. Like I saw how things worked at generating leads, and I was like, well, this is crazy. Then yes, I became a client, and my thought process with the niche was that I just wanted to pick like the most boring thing. So I went into insurance because nobody like insurance is pretty boring, at least for me. There's not a lot of like young people getting into it. So I was like, I want to pick a boring niche. I picked insurance. It kind of translated into financial advisors. So it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, the process that we're doing, which applies to any other niche, of course, we're basically helping trucking companies acquire and retain talent for like truck drivers. Basically, trucking companies have a big issue retaining truck drivers. Like they have a 94% turnover rate. So like if they hire a driver, they might spend like $10,000 just to sign on that driver, and then they're gonna leave on the same year usually, because it's a difficult job, right? So what we're doing is that we're acquiring those companies, and we're partnering with law firms that are basically sending drivers from Mexico that have a more difficult job and they're not getting paid as well, and they commit to a certain time, and basically they retain drivers, so the company wins because they have a reliable employee, and the truck driver from another place like Mexico, they win as well because they have a better job, right? They have better conditions, they make more money, they can bring their family. So like everyone wins. It's a very specific thing, but I think that it all started when, yeah, with like real estate, just working on the same process, and then you start like digging deeper into things. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, and I'll chime on a little bit. So like, yeah, like I think just working, even within a company, you learn way more than going and start your business, right? Like you work with us for 1 or 2 years, over a year for sure, and like you probably learned everything about onboarding, fulfillment, the sales team, the marketing, and how it all fits together, meshes together. I think that was really important. And if I were to go back, I would have definitely done that as either as a salesperson, or I would have worked as an employee with someone, because I think you get like that skill sets, and you learn that some of the things that we were making mistakes on, and next time it's invaluable, right? So now you now go ahead and those same skill sets, you now apply them in a different vehicle, a more higher leverage opportunity, solving a really painful problem. I know my dad's been a trucker for a long time. And when he was a trucker, basically, like trucking was every trucking company all around the world, they always need drivers, because trucking is one of those things where if trucking shuts off, the whole country shuts off. That's reality. If truckers go on strikes all over, the country's pretty much done. It's doomed. So they need truckers to, move stuff across the country, right? Or countries, should I say. And what I'm seeing is, right now, trucking there's a arbitrage opportunity you can take advantage of. There's a gaps in every single part, because these trucking companies, they need drivers, but they don't know how to get drivers, because it's a complicated process. You got to know art marketing, inside sales, and everything, right? Then these immigration firms, they know how to place drivers, but they don't know how to go ahead and get trucking companies to contract, because they lack the outbound sales skills and marketing skills, because they didn't go to become a salesperson, right? Or marketer, right? Now, another thing is, like, these folks that you guys are sourcing from all over the world for truck drivers, they don't know how to always necessarily get the opportunity. But even if they do, like, there's a big problem there as well, and then you guys are filling the gaps. You guys are filling the gap on many different levels. And like the impact is spread across a really big net of people, right? So you got the truckers and their families, you got the companies, right? And then you've also got the immigration firms, but then you got the whole nation that's relying on the truckers. So, that's impact, right? And impact dictates how much you earn. And, that's something that my mentor told me too, is like, this is the whole reason we started REMT Launch, right? Because like, we can have real estate marketers. We also have real estate coaches. We still work with our agents, but then the real estate marketers can help more realtors, and the real estate coach can help more realtors. Realtors can go and help more people buy and sell homes. And then it's a big impact, a big fish net, right? So in entrepreneurship, right, like you want to have the biggest impact, and that's how you typically earn. That's why, for the longest time, I never really understood what people meant when they said, I want to have impact. I just thought it was just a bunch of fluff. But when I went to mastermind stuff with people, they said impact. That's what it really means, right? So I think you have a really big impact right now with the world. And just it's so funny to think about it. Like, it's like or like, for example, you're a 21-year-old guy, 21-year-old kid almost right now. I think I was still say a kid in Mexico with a laptop, and he's potentially gonna change hundreds of thousands or millions of lives in the next couple of years. So like, that's how I think it's pretty fascinating.
I've never thought about it that way. Maybe, yeah, it's because I don't have a beard like you, but you're pretty young too. But yeah, man, it's crazy. The impact that this offer has is great. And I think that like before I started working with you, I always wanted to do something, and I always liked like building things and selling things and stuff like that. But I just didn't fully like knew the mechanism or the way to work, or how to achieve what we have done at this point. And I tried doing like marketing for real estate agents, and I was like, I was trying to do my own thing. Then I joined you, and I just saw like how you guys were working and the fast pace that you guys had in generating leads. So that helped me a lot, and always applied like basically what you mentioned about using a unique mechanism to solve a problem, and you try to solve like the biggest problem that you can find, right? So I think that this is definitely a big problem, and yeah, it's big impact, and I think that I like it. I really like it because you're helping like the companies, and you're helping families, it feels really rewarding when you're doing it. So I think that that's what helps you when you're working and you don't see instant results. Like you don't get that instant gratification. You have something else to hold on to work for long periods of time with high intensity. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, the gains are definitely the long term. It's funny because me and partner Jazz were talking about this yesterday too. Like everyone has their own specific skill sets as an entrepreneur. That's what gives them the arbitrage, right? And like over time, by sticking to one industry, you always see the nuances. You always see the best vehicle, and you typically see the best vehicle within that same industry, right? A lot of people make the mistake of hopping different industries, right? So for us, like we've stayed in the real estate industry for a long, long time, more specifically the real estate marketing industry, and we continue to stick in it, right? So like now it's like for us, given our skill sets, we're in the process of like acquiring companies now and starting new companies with partners, and having like a portfolio. That's like the part we're in right now. And it just became it became from the initial like generating leads, working with agents, right? Then having that skill set apply across many different vehicles. And I think for you too, like I want to talk about like what's next, because like right now you're doing really well, and like you've got this one client, 20K a month. I think you're gonna now structure equity with them for growth potential. But like what's next? Like after this one big case study, like what's your goal? Like are you trying to do private equity, build a company, a portfolio? Like what's your goal?
Well, we were talking about it before this meeting, but yeah, I think that applying the same thing that we have learned about how to acquire companies using like this unique mechanism, how to acquire clients using this unique mechanism. I'm going to apply that to other clients, and I'm going to focus on scaling that to 100K per month. So that's my goal right now. And yeah, I mean, in the long run, I will definitely, like, one of my goals will be to go on a more performance-based or more of a equity-based deals with clients. Because if you work with clients that they have high impact, like and they have a great offer, and you can actually, they just need like a little bit of help with maybe building a sales team, like maybe acquiring customers. And if you help them on that side, I think that definitely going on the equity part on the long run, that's definitely my goal. So like owning shares of a couple of companies that that I really believe in what they're doing, and I work with them. So that's my goal in the long term, I think. And in the short term is getting to 100K per month. I mean, like short, middle term, I guess, helping customers acquire other customers using the same mechanism. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we're talking about it like you can either license the protocol out and sell it as like a program to trucking companies, right? That's probably like the least that's probably going to be really profitable for you. You might not have the most upside, but it's also gonna be like, usually like we do it in a done with you format for our agents, so we sell it that way. So you can sell the protocol as a consulting program online. That's one way of doing it. And then like the consulting protocol later on, once you get your successful clients, then you can ask them like, hey, like you already went through my consulting protocol, why don't we just partner up? I think that's a really good way to breed partners for a partnership opportunity, like as equity, because then they've already been self-sufficient. You can rely upon them. They believe in your protocol. They got results. That's a way that I would build a portfolio and get people to go through, right? That's one thing. So the other thing you can also do is you can go ahead and you can just like find people, like you start up your own company, right? Like you just go ahead and like open up an immigration firm and hire an immigration lawyer, right? And that might be a little bit more complicated, but that's also another, then you get all the upside, right? As opposed to splitting it with someone. Or you can, just do the same thing with more people and repeat it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I started doing this, I never thought that I will help other people like do this. Like it's a very specific thing, but yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Where it's just doing the same thing over and over. And I mean, yeah, I'm excited to talk with you about this and see what we can do in the future in terms of this. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm always excited when people like, they solve different unique problems. Like your guys is like, I've heard people that do like that do place or they teach truck drivers because I've been a mastermind to people. It's a guy that does it, but like they teach how to get more truck drivers, but like they don't use the mechanisms that, and we're not going to really get into the mechanisms today. We're going to leave that as IP,
Yeah.
but like they don't use the mechanisms that you guys use, which is unique. And I think that's what for me and most people that I know, like it's always served them in business, like in doing something that's new and not improvement. That's always the way to go. So yeah, man, I'm super excited for like at the end of the year to see where you guys are heading, and like that I had a couple questions for you, for anyone else that's watching right now. So like, what's been like the biggest takeaway from working with our team for you?
Well, from working with your team, I think that the fast pace and like how you guys work, that helped me a lot into applying it with my projects. Also figuring out like the exact foundational issue that the niche or the client has. Like for example, with the truck drivers, there's a lot of solutions out there that don't really fix the issue. So when we, something that you always said, it was like go above and beyond, right? And it's very like a basic thing, but if you apply it correctly, I think that it helps a lot. So for example, with this, like we went above and beyond to actually figure out what was the core like component or issue that this industry had. And I think that's pretty much what you did with real estate. Like you went into real estate, you got some clients, you got some results for those clients, but then as you helped the clients, you actually figured out like what was the root cause of their problems in their business in a like foundational terms. So you're solving those issues because those businesses are kind of broken in a foundational aspect, and you're solving it with your unique mechanism. So yeah, like we're basically doing the same thing technically. So that helped me a lot. Just go above and beyond, and the fast pace that you guys worked. Like when I was working, with your Unity Elite, it's like the Slack notifications were popping. We're popping like every single day, just like a 4,000 a day or something. It's crazy. You
There's
couldn't
a
take a
lot.
break. Just a Slack notification, and it was pretty cool. Like I really liked it because high intensity, you learn faster. You implement it right away. Like I remember when we were on calls, like you were just doing the work right away. You weren't thinking about it really. And yeah, just little things like that. I think that they helped me a lot.
Yeah, I think like that you're spot on about the above and beyond. Like what I meant, what we mean by that is like for anyone that's watching this and know, it's like if you do something and you're trying to solve for the client, just like do everything and don't leave anything on the table, because really you're trying to understand how you can serve the client better, because the money's always in the back end type of thing. Like for me, that
Right.
like when I was partnering up with an agent and like figuring out the back end, like I was still really comfortable. Like I didn't have to do it, right? We were making a lot of money from generating leads, but I still wanted to partner up and solve everything for that one agent from the end-to-end sales process. And then that allowed us to build a good product moving forward, like with the consulting program, because we pretty much solved to the T how to book appointments with real estate leads using text message and calling, and we did everything ourselves. And once I had done that myself, then I felt really confident teaching agents, and then now I'm like teaching other people how to help agents. So it's like that initial work was put in. And I think you're pretty much in that phase where you're just solving all the nuances, and then you can start getting at that protocol and like scaling it. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
this is super high level already, this conversation.
I guess. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. Now that you say it, definitely makes sense. Like I remember when a customer had any issues or like just onboarding a customer, or it was always going above and beyond, and helping the clients on the other phases would have never happened. If you just said like, oh, this is my service and it ends here, and I'm not doing anything else from that. You wouldn't have figured out like all the other issues that they had, or like all the other aspects, or they wouldn't have trust like you to fix those other issues. So yeah, little things like that
And
help a lot.
not only that too, I mean, there was a guy actually was watching a video before yesterday, and like someone talked about an iPhone, right? Like when someone buys an iPhone from the shop, it creates like 10 different problems that you can charge for, right? So like iPhone, you got to charge a case, and then now you got apps you can charge for. So like for like for us, right? Like we sold text concierge to dozens and dozens of clients. That was bringing a lot of cash flow in every single month. And then now you got apps you can charge for. So, like for us, right? Like we sold text concierge to dozens and dozens of clients. That was bringing a lot of cash flow in every single month. And then now you got apps you can charge for. So, like And that was just like, just from understanding the client's problems, we were able to solve that. But yeah, man. Well, I mean, what's your biggest tip for anyone that's on the fence that wants to come work with us at, either EAS launch? I know you were part of EAS launch, but we have our EMT launch, the Renegade program, we got EAS launch. They're all very similar but different the same way. What would be your biggest tip of advice for someone to get success with us?
Yeah, I mean, I will say like just make the decision. I didn't doubt it at all. I worked with them and I vouch for them always. Like anything that they do, it doesn't matter if it's EAS, it doesn't matter like the vehicle that they help you with. I like working with Prav and Jess has always been one of the best decisions in business for me. And I would just say like make the decision. I mean, there's like I don't want to sell it too much, but really, it's been life changing. So I think that if I had a lot of doubts about myself, and I still have, but I think that if someone from Mexico can I met someone from India. I have a friend he's like from India, and I think that he interviewed you. He's like Nick, I think, and he's making like 100K or 200K per month, and he's in India, and he has like his English is pretty like it's not a perfect English, but he's still making like 200K from India. So anyone can do this. Like I had a lot of doubts about that because of just like, oh, I'm in Mexico, I can't sell to the other markets, like stuff like that. So that was a big thing for me. But I don't know, it's very specific for every single one of you of like that decision why you don't want to take the next step. Maybe you think that you don't know a lot about the niche like real estate, or I don't know, like there's a lot of nuances, but yeah, if someone from India can make 200K per month and he's like 21 or something, and I'm from Mexico and I can, do this as well. And in some sense, like I think that there's not a doubt. Yeah.
I think that mentality will take you places, man. Because like, I've always thought about like, if someone else has, two hands, 10 fingers, right, a nose and
Yeah.
eyes, like I can do the same thing as him or them, right? I think Hormozy says the same thing too. He's like, if they can do it, like I could do it, right? I think that it definitely is really empowering. But yeah, man, where can people find you if they want to connect with you? Seems like you got a pretty cool lifestyle. I love the paintings in the background, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
changing my desk. Those things are like for my desk, those things. So it looks
gotcha.
weird, but yeah, I mean, maybe Twitter. It's AT Charlie X. Maybe Twitter will be a great place. So I'm always there. And yeah, I mean, in terms of for other things, like you were saying, you were telling me, I actually spent like I think $20,000-$30,000 on other like solutions that didn't really work for me because you didn't have a solution at the moment. You were just focusing on generating and leads, and you didn't have anything. So we were like, oh, we went for other things. It didn't work until we worked for you, like with you. I think that um, on the first day, like I think on the first day we got ROI. You just shared something that completely changed everything, and on the first or second day we got the ROI instantly from resources and stuff like that. So yeah, it was great. But Twitter is a great place. I'm always on Twitter. Yeah, always on Twitter, of course, because
Yeah,
Elon Musk is there. So it's
trying to
gonna be
grow
the
the
best thing.
Twitter account, but it's a process.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, man, I'm super
yeah,
excited. Carlos, this is awesome. I think we shared a lot of details. I'm excited to see your guys' progress in the end of the year. I think you guys will be crushing it. And yeah, thanks so much, man. So yeah, we'll connect soon.
I
See you.
appreciate it. Yep. Appreciate it. See you.